When Chevrolet introduced the second-generation Corvette in 1963, it marked a turning point for America's sports car. The all-new design, famously dubbed the Stingray, combined aggressive styling with serious performance potential. Initially powered by the familiar small-block V8 carried over from the previous C1, the C2 Corvette evolved rapidly into something far more formidable. By 1965, Chevrolet had unleashed big block power, giving the car the muscle it needed to challenge anything on the road or track. But it was in 1967, the C2's final year, that the Corvette reached its zenith with the introduction of the legendary L88. The 427 cubic inch, 7.0-liter L88 wasn't just an engine. It was a declaration of racing intent. This was a machine engineered for those who lived for high-octane, loud exhausts and blistering speed. Built with aluminum cylinder heads to shave weight, enlarged ports to improve airflow, a high-lift camshaft, and a lightweight flywheel, the L88 was pure performance distilled into metal. Its 12.5-to-1 compression ratio demanded 103-octane racing fuel, making it as impractical for daily driving as it was intoxicating on the circuit. Officially, Chevrolet rated it at 430 horsepower, a deliberate understatement to discourage casual buyers. In reality, dyno tests proved it produced well over 500 horsepower, rivaling dedicated race cars of the era. This level of engineering brilliance came at a steep cost. The L88 option added a hefty premium, around 35%, more than a base 1967 Corvette. As a result, only 20 examples left the factory that year. Chevrolet never intended it for the casual enthusiast. This was a car for serious racers, and those who understood what they were buying were getting one of the most fearsome machines to ever wear a bow tie. Today, that scarcity has turned the 1967 Corvette L88 into a mythic figure in automotive history, a rare breed of power and precision that commands astronomical prices whenever one surfaces at auction. Among those 20, one particular example stands out: a red-on-red coupe that has become the world's most expensive L88 Corvette. This car isn't merely collectible. It's a rolling time capsule, a preserved monument to American engineering excellence. In 2014, it shattered expectations when it sold for a jaw-dropping $3.85 million, fees included. A decade later, in 2024, it crossed the auction block once more and fetched $3.2 million. Even that impressive figure underscored the enduring fascination collectors have with the L88 legend. But the story didn't end there. In 2025, the same car resurfaced across multiple high-profile Mecum auction events, drawing crowds and million-dollar bids wherever it went. Yet despite the buzz, it remained unsold. Not once, not twice, but 3 separate times within just 7 months. At Kissimmee in January, the Corvette drew a high bid of $2.5 million, but failed to meet its reserve. It reappeared at Mecum's Indy event in May, where the bidding opened ambitiously at $4 million before quickly dropping to a more realistic $1 million start. The audience rallied, driving the figure up to $2.7 million, but again, the hammer fell short of the reserve. 3 months later at Monterey, the pattern repeated. The bids peaked at $2.6 million, and once again the car rolled off stage under Mecum's familiar "bid goes on" banner. It's unclear exactly how much the owner is seeking, though it's safe to assume he wants to recoup his 2024 purchase price or better. With a pedigree this strong, it's hard to argue the car isn't worth the effort. As one of only 20 L88s built, and the only red-on-red configuration known to exist, this Corvette holds an unshakable place in the pantheon of collectible American muscle. Its originality only heightens the allure. The car remains fully numbers matching, with a remarkably low 11,995 miles on the odometer. In fact, it's added only 20 miles since 2022 and a mere 13 miles since changing hands in early 2024, a testament to how carefully it's been preserved. Beyond its rarity, the L88's condition borders on museum quality. The flawless red finish gleams under the lights, the interior looks untouched by time, and the mechanicals remain in Concours-level shape. It has collected a string of prestigious accolades that further cement its standing in the collector world, including the NCRS Duntov Mark of Excellence, a 98.4-point NCRS National Top Flight Score, and Bloomington Gold certification, each one representing the highest standard of Corvette authenticity and preservation. Is it worth more than $3 million? To most, that's an unimaginable sum for any car. But for those who view the L88 as a tangible piece of history, a machine that defined an era of raw, untamed American performance, it might even seem like a bargain. Cars like this are more than just vehicles. They're mechanical art forms, built for the few who truly appreciate their significance. And in a market where trends shift and the global economy casts long shadows, such a car remains one of the few stable icons of enduring value. Today, the 1967 Corvette L88 stands as both a legend and a mystery. It's a reminder of when automakers built cars without compromise, for drivers who craved the thrill of the racetrack more than the comfort of the open road. Whether it sells next month, next year, or remains with its current custodian for another decade, its status as a crown jewel of the muscle car world is already set in stone. For now, the L88 continues to tease bidders, bask in its own mythology, and remind us why certain cars will forever capture the imagination of enthusiasts around the world, one rumbling heartbeat at a time. The magic of the 1967 Corvette L88 goes far beyond numbers and records. It represents a moment in time when American automotive engineering reached a kind of fearless maturity. In the mid to late 1960s, competition among manufacturers was fierce, with Ford, Chrysler, and GM all locked in an arms race to build the most powerful and desirable performance cars money could buy. The L88 was Chevrolet's secret weapon, a power plant so potent that it blurred the line between street car and track weapon. Officially street legal, yet practically a race car in disguise, it embodied the rebellious spirit that defined the muscle car era. Every element of the L88 package reflected purpose. The engineers stripped away comfort and convenience in favor of pure performance. Air conditioning? Deleted. A radio? Unavailable. Power steering and heater? Forget it. Even the battery was moved to the rear for better weight distribution. This wasn't a car for cruising down Main Street. It was built to dominate Sebring and Daytona. And for those who understood its potential, the L88 delivered an experience unlike anything else from Detroit. Pressing the throttle unleashed a violent, raw surge of power that pinned drivers to their seats. The roar of the solid-lifter V8 wasn't just sound. It was thunder, mechanical and alive. The L88's competition pedigree cemented its reputation. Privateer racers who managed to get their hands on one quickly found themselves holding a ticket to victory lane. In the late 60s, L88-powered Corvettes tore up SCCA and FIA circuits, often embarrassing European rivals that cost twice as much. Even after production ended, the legend continued to grow. The C2's fiberglass body, perfectly balanced chassis, and brutal engine combination made it an icon of American motorsport. But part of what makes this specific red-on-red example so captivating is the story it carries. Each L88 has its own narrative, a unique history of ownership, competition, and preservation. This car, with its near-perfect condition and limited mileage, almost feels untouched by time, as though it's been carefully waiting for each new chapter of its life to unfold. Its pristine state is a tribute not only to Chevrolet's craftsmanship, but also to the dedication of collectors who recognized its significance early on. Many of these cars were raced hard, modified, or even destroyed. The survival of such a flawless example is almost miraculous. Standing before it, one can't help but be drawn in by the sculpted lines that still look futuristic nearly 6 decades later. The split fenders, the bulging hood that hints at the monstrous power underneath, and the aggressive stance, all combine to create an aura of timeless performance. The interior, cloaked in matching red, captures the essence of 1960s American luxury, a blend of sporty elegance and simplicity that modern cars can only imitate. The smell of aged leather, the click of the shifter, the delicate lettering on the gauges. It all evokes an era when driving was tactile, emotional, and unfiltered. In the context of today's collector market, the L88 remains something of an enigma. Its price fluctuates with the tides of global economics, yet its desirability never fades. Some investors see it purely as a portfolio piece, an appreciating asset that outperforms the stock market. But to true enthusiasts, it's far more than that. It's the embodiment of power without restraint, a machine that connects directly to the golden age of American performance. While modern supercars boast higher horsepower figures and digital wizardry, few can replicate the raw, analog thrill that the L88 delivers. There's also a romantic notion tied to cars like this, the idea that they carry the spirit of their creators. The engineers behind the L88 weren't just building an engine, they were crafting a statement, one that said America could build a car to rival anything from Maranello, Stuttgart, or Coventry. That same defiant attitude resonates even now. Every time one of these machines fires up and the exhaust echoes through an auction hall or across a racetrack. As this particular L88 continues its journey through the modern collector scene, one can't help but wonder what its future holds. Will it finally find a new caretaker willing to meet the seller's lofty expectations? Or will it remain a trophy of patience, waiting for the right bidder with both the means and the passion to preserve its legacy? Either way, its status is secure. Whether parked in a private collection, displayed in a museum, or occasionally unleashed on a sunny afternoon, it will forever represent the pinnacle of the Corvette's golden era. And perhaps that's the beauty of the L88 story. It's not just about speed, rarity, or value. It's about legacy, the human connection to machines that move not only with power but with purpose. Each time the key turns and that 427 roars to life, it brings the past into the present. It reminds us why enthusiasts fall in love with cars in the first place. The sound, the smell, the sensation of something mechanical yet soulful, crafted not just to go fast but to make hearts race. The 1967 Corvette L88 is more than an automobile. It's a time capsule, a sculpture of speed, and a symbol of an era when American ingenuity knew no bounds. Even as it sits under bright auction lights or behind museum ropes, it continues to speak to dreamers, racers, and purists alike. And long after the gavel falls and the crowds disperse, the legend of the L88 will keep rumbling through history, unruly, powerful, and forever unforgettable. What makes the story of the 1967 Corvette L88 even more compelling is how it continues to bridge generations of enthusiasts. Young collectors who grew up seeing it only in magazines or on screens now find themselves drawn to its legend, fascinated by a machine that seems to defy time. In an era dominated by electric motors, digital dashboards, and computer-managed driving, the L88 stands as a proud reminder of a rawer, purer age, a time when power came from iron and fuel and every ounce of speed demanded skill. It's not simply nostalgia, it's respect for authenticity. The L88 doesn't ask to be understood, it demands to be felt. When the engine fires, it's not just noise, it's history waking up. The vibrations travel through the floorboards, through the driver's fingertips, stirring something primal that no modern technology can replicate. That visceral connection is why this Corvette remains so magnetic. It's more than just a car. It's an experience, a heartbeat of American performance culture that refuses to fade. And as long as there are those who value the artistry of machinery and the courage of those who built it, the 1967 Corvette L88 will continue to shine, an eternal icon of speed, style, and unrelenting spirit.